We've entered the dog days of the 2023 Vuelta España. Hot, fast, and across the plains, and ending with a bang. Sprint victory, stage 4 for the Australian Kaden Groves. On site here in Tarragona, where Groves celebrated ahead of Sebastian Molano, the Colombian rider, Belgian rider, Eddie Toons in third. And it was a day, 184 kilometers of racing from Andorra La Vella, up there in the little micro state between France and Spain, where we finished yesterday with the victory by Remco Evenepoel in the red jersey. From there, 184 kilometers, here, south of Barcelona, back in Spain, the home country of this 3-week Grand Tour. After 184 kilometers of racing, well, as a celebration, but to get here, we had a stage fight. It involved 3 riders up the road in an escape. We had the Argentine rider who featured yesterday, Eduardo Sepulveda from the team of Lotto Destiny. 2 Spaniards, one from Caja Rural and one from Burgos BH, making up the trio that would take up most of the TV time throughout the day, but they weren't giving much of a leash because the sprinters, the few sprinters that are here in this year's edition, because there are so many mountain stages, they wanted to make sure it came down to a sprint victory and take advantage of the day that was given to them. So they kept the trio on a short leash. We had 2 summits along the stage of today, 2 categorized 3 climbs, the second one coming at 30 kilometers out. At that point, the trio had around about 30 seconds in hand, and it looked like they weren't gonna make it free here to the finish line in Tarragona. Instead, it was gonna be a day for the sprinters, and in fact, yes, they were caught at 19 kilometers out. Then it was over to the sprinters. The GC guys were riding on the front. We saw Soudal Quickstep, we saw Ineos for Geraint Thomas, Soudal working for Remco Evenepoel, Jumbo-Visma for their riders, Jonas Vingegaard and Primož Roglič, all trying to keep their GC riders safe before we got here, 3 kilometers out where the GC times would be neutralized. Everybody wanted to get in safe, but yes, and this shows why the guys are riding on front, because these roads are tricky. We drove them getting here today. They got a little bit of sand on them. We're running along the coastline here. They're a little bit rough in spots, and of course they're technical as well. Kaden Groves talked about that in his winter's press conference. And in fact, at 4 kilometers out, there was a crash. It involved Brian Coquard, one of the few sprinters here. Also, Santiago Buitrago, a GC rider for Team Bora Hansgrohe. They went down. The other GC riders, including the red jersey Remco Evenepoel, were safe. Remco Evenepoel, after the stage, he said he didn't even know about the crash, so he was so focused on staying safe and riding in the wheels of his Soudal Quickstep teammates to get to the line, to get to that 3-kilometer point to be safe. And after we crossed 3 kilometers, well, as the sprint teams that really started to take control. I'm talking about the team of Bora Hansgrohe, who was up there riding on the front, but really it's the team of Lotto, UAE working a little bit for Molano, and of course the team of Alpecin de Koenig wanting to place Groves in perfect position for the victory. Well, there was a crash, one of those sweeping corners. It was overshot just a bit by Vanderberg from EF Education. Easy Post riding in the pink jersey, crashes, takes out Robe Gaze from Alpecin de Koenig, the last lead out man for Kaden Groves. And after that point, well, we saw Molano a little bit free, Groves right in his wheel, but it was a little bit of an uphill stretch right up here, right behind us to get to the finish line, and that's not where you wanted to be on front. If you were a sprinter trying to get to the finish line, Groves just slotted right in Molano's wheel, and when it was time, the perfect time, he came around and was not seen again until the finish line celebration, celebrating his 2nd stage win in the Vuelta España. Pulled off one last year and now pulls off one in the 2023 edition, adding to the Giro d'Italia stage win he won earlier this year in Salerno. 3 Grand Tour wins for the Australian, just 24 years old, from Alpecin de Koenig. Remco post-stage, just a couple stitches in his eye. I spoke with him how he was feeling after yesterday's crash, post-victory celebrations. He said he was actually feeling okay, just the stitches. He had some ice on his knee and the other spots where he came down yesterday, but he was okay, ready to rock. It's Remco in red, Kaden Groves celebrating stage 4 victory in Tarragona, 2023 Vuelta España.